Having trouble with your garage door? Problem solved. Call Direct Service Overhead Garage Door Company. We're your go-to team for garage door repair, new garage doors, openers, and more. We offer same-day service. We're always ready when you need us. Best of all, you can book your appointment online or talk to a live operator 24/7. No machines, no waiting. So whether it's a broken spring or a brand new garage door, trust the local experts at Direct Service Garage Doors. Call us today or visit directserviceoverhead.com.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. Deja vu, man. Welcome to the Tusk Talk with Ty Postgame live show. I don't just mean deja vu for what happened last weekend. It's deja vu where once again, a Sam Pittman coach team finds a way to absolutely shit the bed against the team they should have beaten. I don't have the words, man. I don't have the words. I don't have them. This is last week all over again, only against an inferior opponent. I got a DM right as I was getting this set up to go live. Ty, are you still at 7 wins on the year? No. Yeah, obviously the answer to that is no. This is when is enough, you know? Like, what is it going to take? What is it going to take for something to change? Or when will it happen? And what will it take for something to change? I told you guys, I've got 100 things going on in my head right now. And yet the one thing that stands out the most is seeing Sam on the sidelines with the same demeanor, no sense of urgency. No one on the defense seems to really understand the importance. The offense is making mistake after mistake. It's I don't know, man. I did not see this as tough as that Ole Miss game was to swallow and how that unfolded. The offense played so good. It kept them in that game, and the only reason why they're in a situation to win that game late until the fumble, it was because of how well the offense played. In this game, I mean, you had an 18-point lead and you blew it. It's Oklahoma State all over again. We've been here. Well, it's something else, man. I've got a whole bunch of super chats I need to read. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button. Make sure you turn on the notification button as well. Season over, says Brim. We are a basketball school, and I'm ready for the hoop season. I said lack of discipline is why we lose, and the lack of discipline it continues. Yeah, lack of effort. I mean, it goes through and through, man. We've been here so many times. It looked like Arkansas was going to run Memphis off the field, just like something similar that happened last year, and it's happened before so many times since Sam has been here, only to find a way to turn the ball over, whatever. Make some kind of mental error that costs you the game, or multiple mental errors, and typically it was in the second half. This was throughout the whole game. I'm going to read some of these super chats. David Dalton says it's time to start asking, who you going to get? I could not agree more. Matt says we can't be mad. We can be numb, but we can't say we're surprised. No, we can't. I agree with that, Matt. Ant77 says it's time to move on. It's time to move on. I'm tired of this BS. Agreed. Jeremy Roberts, shout out to Jeremy. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate all the super chats. Bad call in the first half. Should have used a challenge flag, says Jeremy Roberts. And Big Man Ross says we can all now go to a game together and meet for about $50. Man, what do you think Notre Dame is going to do to this defense next week? What do you think Tennessee? We're going to make Texas's offense great again. That's what's going to happen. And we can't even put all this on the defense. We really can't. Like I said, I don't even know where to begin. It's the same thing over and over again. I'm getting a headache. I've got a headache. Watching that game gave me a headache. It's insane how predictable this team is. Two penalties on special teams once again. You had an opportunity to pin them back behind their one or behind their two. I think the ball was right at the 1 yard line. And you get a flag, and you had to repunt. Now, it was, again, another good punt by Bell, and you got him at the 11, but there's such a big difference between the 11 and the 1 yard line. Who knows what happens, right? I have no confidence in the defense anyways, but I think if I remember that series right, it didn't really end up mattering, but it's still just another moment where they just look unprepared. And again, it wasn't just any one. It wasn't just the offense. It wasn't just the defense. It was all of it, the special teams as well. Another super chat. This is Hogs Better for $4.99. He says, I don't think we could have a defense that would rival the Chavis DC years again, but here we are. Couldn't have said it better myself. That was very Chavis-like. You are now 0 for 2 against two decent opponents. Again, like I always say, I'm going to reevaluate on Sunday. We're going to look at we're going to watch other teams because I still got a job to do. You guys won't have to deal with it. I'm going to have to deal with it. It's what I do. I've got a job to do. We're going to reevaluate, and we're going to come back Monday, and we're probably just going to laugh this off because you know what? It was just that comedic. It was just that funny what we saw today. That's where you're at now. This is just funny. It's funny now. Yep, Hog's going to hog. Couldn't be truer. This makes me feel like the Chad Morris heiress is Cam Gray. Shout out to Patreon supporters. Make sure you sign up. I know a lot of people keep telling me I don't want to support the Hogs financially. Well, by God, listen, there's this guy on YouTube. He's independent. He's completely independent right here. Tusk Talk with Ty. Maybe you want to sign up for Patreon and help support your boy and help me deal with going through the pain when you guys don't have to, right? I'm going to have to rewatch this crap tomorrow. It's just unbelievable, man. I'm the only thing that's surprising is that Arkansas across the line is better. And not only that, they brought in a backup quarterback. That's how funny this is. To finish off this game, they bring in a backup quarterback, and the rest is history. I'm not sure. We got a lot of stuff happening in the comment section. I'm trying to get to you guys. We got a $10 super chat. What's up, Kevin? How you doing, man? This is from Kevin Sanders. It's almost 5 a.m. in South Korea, and I just watched us choke an 18-point lead. Man, this sucks. The backup quarterback carrying everyone when we needed that stop the most. Yeah, it's Travis Williams should not be on that team bus on the drive home. Travis Williams should be terminated right now. Travis Williams should be fired now. What are we doing? I love that he's a player's coach and they love him. I love that. He is a good dude. But holy shit, at some point, enough is enough, man. Enough is enough. How did that happen? How did that happen? And I get that the offense didn't help him out. I get it. They put him in some rough situations. But the defense could not get off the field unless, Memphis did something to help him out. That double pass was about the dumbest thing Memphis could have done. Of course that ended up in a takeaway. That's all that comes to mind is just rage watching this defense, man. It's the same thing over and over. And yes, Petrino deserves criticism. Taylon Green deserves criticism. Washington, at the end, fumbling the ball, deserves criticism. But the defense did nothing. Nothing to help prevent this today. Nothing. I'm so tired of this, man. It's just more of the same, and it is so frustrating. I'm not one to scream and yell like this. I might get a little animated from time to time, but holy shit, man. What does it take? Travis Williams should be done. At the very least. I know everyone wants Pittman gone. I just don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think they're going to make any changes there. They're not going to do anything. I think they're thinking financials. They've got to reach the $20.5 million. I think they want to try and end the year. I guess the further south the 500 he is, the lower the buyout, and then next year he has no buyout. God, you cannot wait. We can't get another year of this, man. We cannot get another year of this. You thought fans were pessimistic and apathetic coming into the year? What do you think they are now? Someone said, leave Pittman on Beale Street. Oh, man, all we can do is just laugh. It's not. And Scott Fountain, oh, dude. I mean, we've been yelling about Scott Fountain since the guy took the job. I mean, he helps recruiting. Who gives a shit? What difference does it make at this point? What good is it? What good is it really? Travis Adair says, I don't drink. I feel like getting drunk. Pittman's teams are the cause. How many 7 or lost points is that for? Well, so what is he now? 7-19? Is that his record now in these one score games? 7-19? That was a $5 super chat from Travis Adair. Here's Boss Hog for $1.99. He says Arkansas versus Notre Dame is going to be available on Pornhub. Oh, T-Dub with the $5 super chat. Can't wait to see Biddy and the rest of the Hog media slobber all over Sam in the post game. He should be getting grilled by the media. Crash out. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm having a crash out. I fully acknowledge that. Mr. Crash Out 34 says, funny, the announcer said, look what we are doing. Then we fumbled. I pwned Kyle. Love that name. I have to get a piss test at work for destroying a pallet. Whoa, wow. T-Dub with another $5 super chat. If Sam had a shred of honor, he would do a Coach O and tell that he will resign at the end of the season. Yeah, no, this has got to end. This enough is enough, man. Hog fans, I realize there's some bad apples, and there's some heavy clout chasers on Twitter, and I get that, man. But the rest of the Hog fan base that does still go to games, that watches everything they do, supports them financially, buys tickets when no one else is gonna. I mean, those are gonna be the people buying the tickets when no one else is. Those people definitely deserve better. Hog Nation deserves better. I don't know what the hell Hunter Yurchek's doing. What conversation did Hunter Yurchek have with the staff? You remember he talked about that at the Little Rock Touchdown Club. What did he say? Because somehow they looked worse against an inferior opponent. I don't care about Memphis's win streak. Who cares? What happened today should not have happened. Yes, officials played a role. Holy God. How is that? How was this? Look at this on your screen. Look at this. This man throat punched that Razorback. Who was that? Neal? Throat punched him. Made contact with him first. Fully extended his arm. Look at that. Don't tell me that didn't have an impact on this game, because it absolutely did. The officiating combined with Arkansas coaching, it's like, officials, we don't need any more help losing these games. We don't need any more help. We have officially entered who you're going to get season. We have officially entered who you're going to get. You just can't lose a game like this. And they're going to make all the excuses in the world. You know, they're going to talk about what, when Sam said that when you get used to winning, it's really hard to lose or something. Like, that's going to be the excuse making by the Pittman defenders. Hell, Pittman probably himself. Razorback fans just deserve better than this, man. I mean, we have over 1,000 yards of offense in the last 2 games, yet we are 0-2, says Ash. Good Lord. Yeah, it's God, we haven't even looked at the stat sheet, have we? We haven't even looked at it. It's just raw reaction time. Kelly Williams says 3-9 season, stand by. Hunter Yurchek needs to go. I hope they asked Pittman about the 1 possession losses in the postgame presser. Remember they did that last weekend. Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. By God, Sam. And again, this one is difficult to put on. I know someone's going to hurl a tomato at my face on this. Washington fumbled that ball, but it's how you got in that situation to begin with that Sam deserves all the criticism for. He is the head coach at the end of the day. He's going to catch the heat for that, and that's back-to-back games where you lost because your offense can't hang on to the damn ball. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Eventually, when do you start holding the coach accountable? I've already seen someone say, well, that's not on the coaches when the players aren't giving effort or whatever when they fumble the ball. Are you kidding me with that? Like, eventually – there's a common denominator there, and I don't know. I think it might have something to do with your 30 damn fumbles last year. It was 30 total. They gave up, I don't remember what was the number, 9 or 10 fumbles, but they had 30 times last year that ball hit the ground. That was a technical fumble. And what do you know? You're still doing it. Maybe a little less frequent, and it may not be Taylon Green this time, but you're still doing it. When does the coach get held accountable for that? When do we ask him about this? When do we hold his feet to the fire for real? Not literally, you know what I mean, and I do agree. Chuck and Bo, what are you going to say on Monday? And eventually, when do we hold Pittman accountable? And I realize 90% of you agree. There are still people who move the goalposts constantly for Sam Pittman, and I don't get it. Now, having said that, the wild thing is I still believe this offense can – other than today and Taylon Green throwing obvious interceptions, I don't know what the hell's up with that. I still think this offense can score 34, 35, 36 points a game. But it's like the same stuff that needs to be cleaned up as the stuff we talked about last year, and it's still happening. I'm not going to lie. This feels like 2023. This feels like 2023 now all of a sudden. Your secondary can't cover. Your front 6 can't tackle. Taylon Green is throwing picks now. He's right back to his old self. It feels like, and I realize, that was the KJ Jefferson 2023, but when we talk about the things a year ago that they needed to clean up, it's still happening. It may be less frequent, but it's still happening. And yeah, the offense I do think is better. This was, but it's still like today was truly the offense is. I mean, this was just, yeah, they got yards, but the turnovers just insane. I just don't believe in this coaching staff, and I don't know who anyone who watches them and has watched Pittman over the years. I don't know where, if you think they're getting to a bowl game now, like, oh man, yeah, we're going to talk about that Monday for sure. 6:30 Monday Night Lights. We're going to talk about it. But this feels like 2023. And I don't have enough words. I don't know how the hell Sam Pittman keeps his job this year. I just don't know. I don't know how that's possible. Now you've lost the one game coming into this weekend that you felt like you pretty confident in winning this game. And now with how things unfolded, with how your defense crumbled, with how your offense turned the ball over and went blank, had opportunities. Again, the defense did give the offense some opportunities, and the offense, just like last week, couldn't come through. The defense gave the offense the ball twice last week in the second half, and the offense went 0 for 2. And here we are again. And you only score 31 on Memphis? Like this felt like 39, 42, something to 20 kind of game to me. The odds makers were right. The people who well, I mean, at the end of the day, they were wrong because they had Arkansas covering, or they had Arkansas at 7.5 point favorites. I think was the call there on the spread. Defense coordinator needs to go. Yeah, Travis Williams has got to go. He's got to go. If they're and listen, you remember how long it took him to fire Dan Enos? I don't know that you let that happen again. I don't know the language of Travis Williams' contract, but I man, do you let that linger? And then there is the fear because he is a coach's player, or I'm sorry, a player's coach. The headache is throwing me off, and the rage that I feel from this game is just mind's racing here. But the fear is that you fire him and then you're going to, guys on the defense are going to quit. They might ask to be redshirted or, I mean, it's too late now, but I don't know. But are you better off with Travis Williams staying at defensive coordinator the rest of the year? Is that the answer? And I'm not saying that I guess it just does, to me, it just kind of doesn't matter. They don't have the talent. They don't have the athletes to go toe-to-toe in the SEC on the defensive side of the ball. There are some players. Neal is good. Neal looks like a cat that could play on Sundays. He's a great open field tackler, and he's very difficult in 50-50 throws. They might quit compared to, yeah, all right, Kim Jong, you know what I'm trying to say, brother. I mean, like, leave the team. The defense hasn't even played yet, so how can they quit? They are garbage. Yeah, again, I think you guys, maybe I worded it wrong. Point that I'm making is that they might leave the team. You might lose, and whether, I don't know, do you think if the guys that couldn't beat them out, if you lose a starter or two, do you think the guys that couldn't beat them out, what do you make of the 2s and 3s on this defense if you are forced into a situation where you got to play them? I mean, if I'm on this team, I quit when I saw the AD basically saying we're ass. Yeah. Our offensive roster is going to get rated this offseason. Just depends on how it ends up, Rhett. It depends on how it ends up. I mean, But, yeah, you're probably not wrong. I mean, and there's a lot of those guys out of the transfer portal that have plenty of eligibility left. I mean, Platt's only a redshirt sophomore, and he's, he looks the part. A number of those guys are they're going to get rated. If you can't win games, if you can't even beat Memphis this year, I think it won't even matter, because I think at the end of the day, Pittman's not surviving this. I don't think it even matters. Is today Sam Pittman's – is this the beginning of the end? And you can argue that the beginning of the end has been the last 2 years, but, I mean, for the people that matter at the top, is this the beginning of the end for them? Do they realize that this can't be fixed in terms of expectations and what his teams are truly capable of? Because since his first 2 years, this man has underachieved. Since his first 2 years, he has underachieved. Period. Taylon Green goes 18 of 34 for 325, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. I'll tell you something else I don't understand is what they were doing with the run game. Why did they wait? I realized Washington was getting stuffed there for a little bit, but then Braylon Russell is having maybe he got hurt and I'm unaware of it. Maybe he was having equipment malfunction. I don't know. Why did they wait so late to actually start running the ball? And you saw what happened when they did. Washington was picking up 6-7 yards a carry. Why did they abandon that so quickly? And that's a question I had for Petrino last year. 325 through the air. Again, 18 of 34 is just, man, that's bad. 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Mike Washington had 15 carries for 70 yards with a touchdown. His longest run from the line of scrimmage was 17 yards. Taylon Green was 12 for 53 on the ground. His longest run from the line of scrimmage was 18. I think today he was held to just – was it just that one? Was that his only double-digit carry on 12 carries? That's – and Memphis was doing a good job of playing outside containment and trying to zone in on Green on his ability to run. They wanted him to try and throw the ball, and he had some success, but then he also threw a couple picks. Braylon Russell had just 4 carries for 47 yards. He had the longest run from the line of scrimmage for the Razorbacks, which was 23 yards. Rohan Jones had that – what a play call that was, that little end around – or they motioned Jones. And then as soon as he got behind Green hands him the ball and he runs for 5 yards and a score. I mean, that's when you're thinking like Arkansas's offense is untouchable. They're making calls like this, and Memphis had no answer. What happened to that? I mean, Memphis didn't know what was happening in that second quarter. They gave up 21 points in the second quarter alone. What happened to the ingenuity of the offense? It just felt flat, and then Green starts throwing picks. Omega Blake had 6 catches, 60 yards. He also had, I don't know if they're going to call that a drop, that throw in the end zone. I don't know if that was a drop or if they're going to give credit to the defensive back for a pass breakup. I felt like had he secured that ball, that would have been a touchdown. I'd have to watch it again. I know it was a good play by the defensive back, but still, 6 catches, 60 yards. Rohan Jones had 2 catches for 102 yards thanks to a 62-yard it was mostly yards after catch, but it was still a great 62-yard play there for a touchdown. The only passing touchdown Arkansas would have. Jaylen Brown, only 1 catch the entire game, 42 yards. Green targeted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different receivers in this game, including the running backs and tight ends. Mike Washington caught a couple of throws for 14 yards, but it would be Washington's fumble at the end that would do him in. I don't have all the defensive numbers right now. See if I can pull these up here. Here we go. They're going to give Quincy Rhodes actually quietly had a really good game. Now, they've only got him down for 1 quarterback hurry. There's no way that's right, but they give him credit for 4 tackles for loss. Shaw had a couple. He also had a quarterback hit or a forced fumble and a quarterback hurry. Arkansas with 8 tackles for loss. 8, which isn't bad, but against someone like Memphis, you'd like to see those numbers, especially with how often Arkansas defenders were getting into the backfield. They could not bring that quarterback down. They couldn't make plays in the backfield. I mean, we haven't even gone in on Sorey, who ended up second leading tackler, but I'm going to guess is going to have a really bad tackling grade tomorrow. Rhodes is really the standout here. Phillip Lee, I don't know if Lee, how many snaps he got. Lee really only had maybe one quarterback hurry that I saw. They don't give him credit for it on the stat broadcast sheet, but Ian Jaffard had a couple of good moments. He had 2 tackles. He had that play right before the end of the first half. Oh, brother. Memphis with just 5 TFLs and 1 sack. That's pretty good numbers. Green, it looked like he had all day to throw the ball most of the time. Again, we're going to get some clarification. We'll talk about it tomorrow with Patreon supporters. I realize any enthusiasm anybody had for this team just went out the window. And again, I think that this is, for me, for Hunter, the watershed moment was his time, whether he was right or not, was what he said at the Little Rock Touchdown Club. That felt like either he knows he's gone because he's going to accept the job with the SEC or whatever, or it was just, I don't know, too much for the fans to handle what he said. Even though it was accurate, we appreciate transparency, but could you not have spun that a little bit differently? But again, some people appreciate the honesty and still hate Hunter no matter what. That was a watershed moment. This feels like the true beginning of the end maybe for Pittman here. I just, again, I don't know if you can't beat Memphis on the road. I don't know who's left. Now with this offense, who knows, man? Anything's capable. You get the right matchup, but like I said, this feels like 2023 all over again. And if someone's head doesn't roll tomorrow, if there's not a firing of Travis Williams tomorrow, fans are they're going to lose their mind, man. Twitter is going to be crazy on Monday if we don't hear anything by Monday. They're going to be pissed. Action needs to be taken. Period. We got a bunch of super chats here. Holy cow. Watch us beat Notre Dame tie. This is from Mr. Crash Out. Watch us beat Notre Dame tie just to save Sam's job, make him look great. Also, blank the refs. They screwed us. Hogs better with a $5 super chat. Our strength conditioning coach, Ben Souders, deserves heat too. How many years do we have players overweight or extremely slow? Well, he's not responsible for the years before, but I see what you're saying. Appreciate the super chat. Hogs better. Tercer says illegal formation on punt is unforgivable. I don't know how those mistakes keep happening on special teams. When do we talk about Scott Fountain? I mean, we have on this channel for like the last 4 years. But when do we, as a broad conversation, start having the chat about him and his job security? It's insane. Champions, what's up, man? Different year, same trash. Tercer with a $2. That was a $15 super chat. I appreciate you, man. Tercer with a $2 super chat. Illegal sub out of timeout. Also unforgivable. That was a 2-minute warning. That was the 2-minute warning. Hog Dog with a $5 super chat. So it's not the coach's fault and it's not the player's fault. Whose fault is it? The band or the cheerleaders? I don't know who said that. I absolutely think it's on the players, the coaching. The poll is Sam's fate sealed? That's the poll. 92% of you said yes. 92% of you. And there's a whole lot of people who've taken that poll. Hog Dog says, I think the defense already left the team tight. Well, they're just Small Town Media Works says defense didn't have much effort in tackling. God dang, the amount of missed tackles. I don't know what are they doing? What do they do when they practice? Do they work on this or not? Offense got bogged down in the second half, and this started Monday when your AD basically admitted we were terrible. Well, he said they weren't capable of winning a championship. They could be competitive in the SEC, something along those lines, but they're not in position to win a national championship. Is what it's along those lines. It's not verbatim, but seemed they were timid as hell. They just looked soft. Someone said in chat, and I think this is right. This looked like a Chavis coach defense there towards the end of his career at Arkansas. It looked like Chief defense all over again. They're not going to stop anybody. So yeah, I mean, Travis Williams has got to go, man. At this point, whatever happens, happens. Whatever happens, happens. I mean, this is just, how many of these games do you have left in you? Tim Neal, the Monday Night Lights co-host, says we couldn't tackle a tackle dummy right now. Mason Culver, I am convinced the university doesn't give a blank about their fans, only the money. When do we get justice? Well, that might be. Something's got to change. And when you're athletic director, it felt like the narrative from the Little Rock Touchdown Club was that you have given up. You don't believe, without the financial support, that this team, I mean, that's the narrative that's been put out there. Whether or not that's what Hunter meant, I don't think so. But the narrative is that you've given up publicly on this team. That's the narrative that's out there. And Hunter needs to do a better job in terms of communication. Get out in front of this. I mean, when all that went out wild after Monday, when Tuesday and Wednesday, then Thursday he should have come out either with a tweet or a video or something. Are you shooting Jaeger? No, I'm drinking one of my it's the Ninja Thirst machine. It's got those little, what do you call them? Oh, I've got one right here. You guys familiar with the Ninja Thirst machine? This thing is awesome. Some of these drinks are pretty good. It's 0 sugar. I don't know if this caffeinated. It is caffeinated, but I really like it, man. I've had it for a couple of years, and I love it. And these drinks are really good, especially when you want to smoke a cigar. And you got your machine right there. I wouldn't recommend mixing with them, though. I've tried mixing whiskey with them, and they're not very good. Only 3 points in the second half. In the third quarter. Brendan Lewis was not good for Memphis. He was terrible. He was awful. He was overthrowing targets. All you needed to do was force them to run, and they did that to a degree. The only problem is Sutton Smith ran for 64 yards off a single carry. Brendan Lewis had 103 yards. Sutton Smith had 147 yards. They ran as a team 41 times for 290 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, 7.1 yards per carry. Cortez Bram, who really should only have had 6 catches, he had 7 for 102 with that touchdown that should have been wiped off the board. There was a pass by Green. I want to say Blake was the target, but the defender had completely wrapped him up before the ball ever got to him, and there was no PI call. I mean, a game this close, those calls just, and the lack of calls really, really hurt Arkansas. And again, they did so much to themselves. I'm not trying to say, like, we know who's really responsible for this loss. We get it. But the officiating was abysmal. I mean, it just felt like, yeah, no, we're not going to give you any calls, Arkansas. You're gonna struggle in that department. Arkansas wasn't hit with a lot, 6 penalties for 50 yards, but they were all just Man, it felt like every penalty was excruciating. And it was just 6 for 50. They had 4 for 20. Arkansas on third down started off 0 for 6, I think it was, or 0 for 5. The top third down offense in the country. And they end up going 30% on third down, 3 of 10. Memphis is 6 of 13. Right there's a difference. Once again, you outgain your opponent back-to-back weeks. They had 500 total yards of offense to their 489. It's going to be a shame because some of these players are looking really promising and really good, but it feels like it's all for nothing. I don't know what happens against Notre Dame. I mean, come on. I mean, we know we have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen with this defense, but we have more questions than answers. And it feels like a lot more dark days ahead of Arkansas football the rest of this year. I don't know, man. We know that Pittman's capable of beating somebody one game a year. Like, oh, they shouldn't have won that, but they did. But that's going to be your highlight of the year. The whole year is going to be another moral victory. Although, again, it's not going to matter because there's no way. If they finish 5-7, 4-8, he's gone. But again, I stand by what I said. They've got to make a change at defense coordinator, and they got to do it now. You've got a guy that is been talked about as a future defensive coordinator that's on your staff right now that you could have take over. And I'm not typically a fan of screaming for people to lose their jobs, but I think in Arkansas's best interest, it would be to remove Travis Williams and to promote your co-defensive coordinator, Marcus Woodson, right to defensive coordinator. Players love him too. I mean, I say that. I'm sure there's some that don't, but I mean, I just, for the better of your program, you need to move forward without Travis Williams. I'm not a fan of calling for people's jobs, but I just let him get a head start on his next whatever he wants to do. Let him start over somewhere as a linebacker coach. I think as a linebacker coach, he used to be pretty damn good. I don't know what's going on with his linebackers this year. He had a reputation as a solid guy on the defense, as an assistant. Moved up the ranks quick. And obviously the Arkansas job is just too much for him. And I think it'd be better for both parties to part ways right now. Like when you leave the locker room, Coach, let me talk to you for a second. Coach T. Will, let me talk to you. We appreciate what you've done. You've had an impact in some areas of recruiting, but we think it's in our best interest and yours if we go in a different direction. That ought to be it. That ought to be it. And I don't know. I don't know what to expect. When's basketball season? I mean, really, that's really what we're all thinking, right? Like, okay, whatever. Move on to basketball. We're going to have to start talking more hoops on Mondays and the rest of the weeks for these lives, because the excitement now for football from fans, the excitement now from you listening to this and watching this show right now as we speak, what is it? What do you think it is? It's who you going to get. That's what it is. That's the excitement now. The season's going to be a roller coaster ride, right? I mean, it's probably going to be – it feels like it's going to be more disappointing than not. But the excitement now, Taylon Green being on the Heisman list and all that is probably out the window for sure, right? I mean, it has to be. Short of beating Notre Dame, I don't know how you get anybody back other than the excitement for another coaching search. The conversations, that's going to be the conversation now moving forward. You notice how quickly that's shifted now. It was coming up after Ole Miss. It was coming up. Now that you've lost 2 straight and against the opponent you should have beaten, and hell, you should be 4-0 had you not turned the damn ball over against Ole Miss. Or you were at least in position to win that game, even though Ole Miss could have gotten the ball back and had timeouts left. But who knows how that one would have ended up. I feel like, I don't even want to go down that alley right now, but you were in position at the very least to be 4-0. And now all of a sudden the conversation, the narrative, everything is switched. It's, what are we doing at head coach? Who should we be looking at? Are we still talking about Rhett Lashley? Are those names that were coming up a year ago, are they still available? Like, that's the excitement now. Because as far as the football season is concerned, like what's actually happening on the field, people are still going to go to the games. You're going to get tickets really damn cheap. People are still going to go to the games. I don't know what to expect. I think the attendance for Notre Dame, even though both parties are not what we thought they were going to be at this point, it's Notre Dame. I think they'll sell. I mean, if they don't, if the stands are empty, when they won't be. I mean, they won't be empty. But you know what I mean. If they're giving you a sky shot of Fayetteville in that stadium and you see a whole bunch of bleachers, it's not going to be a good look. November 3rd cannot get here fast enough. It cannot get here fast enough. I am Prue. What's up, man? Whether TW gets canned this week or not, does Sam Pittman lose the defensive side of the ball in the locker room after this? What's Mullins' buyout at UNLV? Yeah, Mullins is a. Are they still? Did they play today? They were 3-0. Put in Malika. Appreciate you boys for the super chats. That was Terser 87 with the $2 super chat, and I am Prue with the $5 super chat. Appreciate you boys. Appreciate all the super chats today. But again, I hope you guys consider joining Patreon. That's what really, I try to make this as community funded as humanly possible. You don't have ads during the live. That kills me. YouTube will not push the algorithm in my favor because I don't do that. But I do that because I know you guys don't want to see ads when we're discussing the Razorbacks. You don't want the ads, so I turn them off. So YouTube will not push this content. So do me a favor, support the channel, like, share, subscribe, and make sure you check out Patreon. We need Bobby Petrino, says Greg Roberts. James Swope, who's a legendary status member, by the way, says it'll be empty and white for Notre Dame game. It'll be blanking funny. No one shows up for the Hogs. I mean, people will show up. You just wonder how quickly people head for the exits and how quiet that crowd is, right? Transplanted Texan says Hogs offense looked defeated going into the 2-minute timeout. A loss was inevitable. A loss is always inevitable if it's close, and Sam Pittman's your head coach. That's just all there is to it. He can't do it, you guys. He can't win these games. He can't. 7-19. And the defense, too, late getting calls into the field. Someone brought this up at Discord, and it's a really good comment that, they're not getting calls in 2 seconds before the quarterback snaps the ball, before the quarterback gets the ball in his hands. They're still making calls. They still look lost. I remember us talking about this last year. I remember this very conversation happening last year about that very issue. And now I thought that last year they were okay at tackling, not great. This year they're worse. Outside of Neal, I don't know who in that secondary can actually cover I don't know who in that secondary can cover anybody outside of Neal. And I thought that before the interception. He's a great open field tackler. I mean, he does look like someone with the potential to play on Sundays. Neal has looked really good. That's been your bright spot in the secondary. Other than that, Memphis continues their win streak. Arkansas continues to disappoint. If defense had existed in all these games, Hogs would be 4-0. I could not agree more, Jason Cody. Could not agree more. Y'all ignored my chat from earlier this week. What do we do when we lose to Memphis? Well, I mean, Kelly, to be fair, dude, I mean, we've had a lot of comments. I try to read them. Lone Sportsman Outfitter says you should let the ads rock if it's going to benefit you. We will be here regardless. You say that. I pay attention to my algorithm. You say that, and also I've gotten feedback. People just don't like them. I don't like them. I don't want you guys to have to deal with it. $15 super chat from Champions. He says 2 weeks in a row we won the toss. Decided to take the ball. Both Ole Miss and Memphis gained second half momentum from those decisions. Both losses. Well, definitely that intercept or the touchdown before the end of the half. You know, didn't do him any favors. I mean, it killed any momentum that Arkansas had. It killed any momentum that Arkansas had. And again, my God, Memphis, I've just never seen a team get away. I mean, it felt like we were watching, it felt like a Memphis defender could just pull a knife out and stab somebody and it would go unnoticed by this officiating crew. I just could not believe it. And that again, you're going to have to convince me how this was not offensive pass interference. Who you gonna cover? Eddie says they didn't choke, they didn't suck. Pittman needs to consult with Cal on getting his. Oh, come on, dude. Eddie, you got to be better than that, man. The personal shots, if you're going to hit him for his weight and all that, that's got to do better than that, man. Let's get the likes up. Yeah, make sure you hit the like button. I just don't know what else Pittman could say to anybody at this point. It was Ty. It should have been 42-7 at halftime. That play shouldn't have even mattered. Yeah. I know what Pittman can say. I quit. Well, yeah, but I mean, realistically, what can he say that's going to appease anybody at this point, right? But I will say, I think that, boy, if anyone thought that his seat had cooled off before the Ole Miss game, I mean, it's a complete 180. And listen, I think we all knew coming into the year, his seat was absolutely, it was still hot. We just weren't talking about it. And all it would take, my power's flickering. We're getting some crazy storms. I may have to cut this one short. But all it would take is a little shove, and this was that shove. Now it's right back up. And he's going to get frustrated when he gets asked the question. But you know what, Pitt? That's why you get paid the money. That's why you get paid the money you get paid, man. The media should be asking you tough questions. You need to be held accountable. And fans want more from you. They want to hear more. They want to know what the hell's going on. The all G shuck stuff, it only works when you're winning. Breaking news, Pittman has been fired. Yeah. Nice try. Don't make me look at Twitter. I would think the first thing we would hear would be Travis Williams. Aaron Torres tweeted an hour ago, no matter how bad you think your favorite school's luck is, Arkansas is worse. I promise you it's much worse. Clay Travis. Clay Travis said this about an hour ago. Arkansas, man, I don't even know what to say. Razorback fans have to be tough as nails because the way Arkansas loses in pretty much every sport is unprecedented. Mike Irwin said this football program is cursed. Okay, right, I see that, but I also think when we say things like that, even though they're true and they feel like they're true, it also feels like we're letting this staff off with one. Oh, we're just cursed. Doesn't matter who's coaching, and I know that's not what Mike is saying, but I don't want to hear that. I want to hear Pittman is awful in close games. Needs to be held accountable. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear about curse, all that crap. I've been hearing that as long as I've been a Razorback fan. I don't want to hear that. It's true, and it certainly feels that way, but now I want to move on from that and say, what do we do to fix this? Man, Twitter's brutal. We always lose the close games. What's up, Arky56? By the way, I think you owe me, Dad. You owe me like a whole Subway franchise at this point. I know we didn't bet on anything on this one, but I'm just saying you owe me a brick and mortar Subway. He probably already left. He likes to hop in, say something, then hop out. Michael Kopasky says, clean house. Crash Out wants to know what's worse, San Jose State, North Texas, or now Memphis. God, I don't know. Don't make me choose like that, Kyle. Keith Thomas says Arkansas needs to focus on improving the in-state player pool. The brand is not big enough to get what we need nationally. I don't know what you want the University of Arkansas to do about high school football, Keith. I mean, I hear you. It's not good. People, the players in Little Rock no longer, like it's not like it used to be in Little Rock. Fortunately, you do have teams down there that still produce a little bit of talent, but that's not on the university. That's on the state, right? You got to have funding for high school football, and you got to have you need your best players in your state to want to play it. And basketball has just skyrocketed in popularity in the state of Arkansas over the last 10, 15 years. That's just the truth of the matter. You got 3 million people in a mostly poor state. I don't know what the university can do about that. It just kind of is what it is. You need to get back to what you did best, which was, and I realize high school recruiting is not what it once was, and it doesn't have the same impact that it once did, but, your pipeline into Dallas-Fort Worth, recruiting the state of Louisiana. How many players in the last 2 years on this roster are from Louisiana? That state spits out NFL talent. And we've completely abandoned it to go to South Georgia, which I understand. Pittman, that became kind of, part of his pipeline as an offensive line coach at Georgia. I feel like if we're getting back into the high school recruiting stuff, who knows what it looks like moving forward with revenue sharing and all this stuff. But if high school football recruiting gets back to what it ever once was, which it won't because of the portal and the one window we're going to have now, if you want to change in recruiting, and I feel like build the best freshman part of your roster that you can, you go back to where you were strongest. You go back to what helped Houston Nutt have the kind of, his successful years. Bobby Petrino, even Brett before he stuck his foot in his mouth. The kind of talent you're able to pull out of your pipelines. And it's not that we obviously do still recruit there, but not like we used to. We don't recruit Louisiana. And to me, that's just such a mistake. And I also get the other point of view, which is that Well, it doesn't matter because these kids don't stick around. And that's true, but we might be headed towards an era of college football where maybe you're more likely to hold these kids down for longer than a year or two. Yeah, ViewMix is just you're getting to the point where you're trolling, my guy. I don't see anywhere where Pittman's been fired. So I might have a mod deal with you if you Sam Pittman has not been fired as far as I can tell. I feel like if he did, chat would be going absolutely bonkers right now. Yeah, ViewMix, you're about to get punted out, buddy. Truman Show says, oh, thank you, Kerper. I appreciate that, man. Truman Show says, breaking, Hog fans fired themselves till next year. White Pickle, interesting name, says, these are the results we get for a $6.5 million coach. PHJ says, exactly. Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, the South's got talent. Yeah, and I'm not, listen, I've not given Memphis their credit, and Tyrone is not wrong. Memphis they're really well coached. I think the rage and the anger in seeing this unfold, once again, seeing Arkansas beat themselves again, just takes over. And you're right. Memphis, you're exactly right, Tyrone. I don't want to leave that out. Memphis is a really well-coached team. Their quarterback, we make everyone look better than they really are. But Memphis is, don't forget what they did last year. Okay? They are capable. They're riding a nice little win streak. They're going to continue that win streak. I don't think talent-wise they're with Arkansas. But what mattered is they won that game in front of their home crowd, and they took advantage of Arkansas mistakes. Ryan Silverfield finds ways to win. You want to talk about coaching candidates, and do we throw Ryan Silverfield in that mix? Do we throw him in the mix? This guy's got he's 44, 45, I think. He's got a mix in the NFL, all over the NFL. I think he worked for, I remember looking that up. I think it was like Jacksonville, Minnesota. And he has won as a head coach at Memphis. I don't think he's had, correct me if I'm wrong, he's never had a losing season. He's been there as technically as the head coach since 2020. He took over as an interim coach in their bowl game in 2019. They did lose that bowl game. But then he went on to win like 8-9 games. I think he had one 500 year, and then from that point on, he just keeps winning games. And now he's off to a 4-0 start. And guess what his overall record is? 46-21. I'm just saying, man. I don't know who's going to be available because at this point, I flipped out. We're on to who you going to get. That's where we're at. That's where I'm at now. I don't see their. Unless he just completely does a 180 and all of a sudden this defense figures it out, and I have a hard time seeing that. Unless they completely change what they're doing on defense, find the right personnel, get this whole situation with the signals in from the sidelines, getting them in a timely order, not having guys looking like they don't know what the hell they're doing 2 seconds before the snap. Unless they get this stuff figured out, the tackling, I don't know how they do it, and I think this is the beginning of the end for Pittman. I know we've said that before, and that's what's crazy, and this guy has survived. Some of that is the financial stuff because of this, again, because of where we're at in college football right now. But I think today was the beginning of the end unless they do a complete 180 on defense. Listen, the offense had a bad day. They didn't have a very good day, and still they outgained and had over 500 or right at 500 yards of offense. What killed them? Obviously the 3 to 2 turnovers and the 30% on third down. That's what killed them. They absolutely beat themselves once again. Typical Pittman fashion. Today should cement for everybody like this is who he is as a head coach now. Since he lost all the Chad Morris players, since those guys left, since Barry Odom and Kendall Briles, this is what you expect. This is what he is. And so you as an athletic director, as the big money people in Little Rock, the board, and they probably already know this. We're not saying anything they don't already know, but this should have cemented it. This is not a guy that is serious. This is not a guy that's serious. This is not a guy that's going to take you beyond anything but about 5 or 6 wins a year. And fans they're you think of merch sales, ticket sales. I realize they're still selling these tickets. They're still getting opportunities, getting on ABC, and they're part of the SEC. You're going to still generate some money here, right? But this guy at head coach is not serious. You are not taking your football program serious if he survives this year and you finish with a 4-8, 5-7 season. You're not. It's over. And then Hog fans are just left scratching their head, going, "Well, what do we do here? What's going on? We're done. We're not going to watch this. We're not going to participate." The diehard fans will always participate. God love them. The diehards, the dads that want to take their kids to a game and he knows he can get a couple of tickets now really cheap, they're going to go to the games. God love them. I don't know if you'd want to expose your kids to this. Feels like a horror film, but remember, my first game was Citadel, so Arky 56 was in chat. He'll tell you that was the very first game he ever took me to was the Citadel. Went to plenty of games in the 80s in Barnhill Arena, basketball, and obviously went to a bunch of games at Bud Walton, but I didn't go to a lot of football games until I got a little bit older. But my first game was Citadel. I don't know that was – maybe that's why I'm angrier now. I don't know. I have a problem with anger in these post-game shows when they lose like this. Maybe that's where it's coming from, that Citadel loss all those years ago. I've got more super chats here. This is going to end up being like Texas as far as super chats are concerned. This is crazy. Likes and shares. Sharing is caring. No, who isn't caring? Yeah. HMFY. David Dalton says RAD killed upcoming recruiting with his comments earlier this week. Sam didn't help by telling a reporter, "You tell me what to do. I don't know what to do." Both are part of the problem. I mean, you're not wrong. The Lightning let up, which is why we kept going. I'm going to go ahead and end this poll. Is Sam's fate sealed? 8% of you said no, but 92% of you said yes. So we'll end the poll there. I appreciate everyone for being here. This is brutal. Here we are again. Same old, same old. 4-8, 5-7. Here we come. I don't even know. Hell, man, I really don't know who you beat with this defense. And if the offense chokes a little bit, it's over, right? I mean, that's where you're at. You don't have a defense that's capable of getting you in a position where you can win games. So far, I've not seen it. Hey, is your garage door acting crazy? Call Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company. If your garage door squeaking, slamming, or just flat out refusing to open, don't be that guy trying to fix it with a hammer and duct tape. Call these guys. They offer garage door repairs, broken springs, new doors, openers, you name it. And the crazy part, they'll come out the same day, even late, like when you get off work after 6 p.m. and your garage door decides to play dead. Direct Service Overhead is there. Real humans answer the phone, no robots. Direct Service Overhead, yeah, that's the way to go. Raise the door, lower your stress, 501-244-3667, or book online at directserviceoverhead.com. Shout out to Travis Ford and the boys. Monday will be interesting. I've got to rewatch all this tomorrow, and it's going to be sickening. It's even worse when you know the outcome, right? You got to be kidding me. Transplanted Texan is saying that after technical difficulty, Sam's postgame presser is not available. You are kidding me. Oh my God. I mean, is that true? Are we backing this up? Someone on Twitter question: would Razorback Nation take Dabo? Oh man, isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy? You had a 28-10 lead, and you still found a way to lose this. Unreal. All right, I appreciate everyone, the super chats, all you that and I think I read all the super chats. If I didn't, I apologize. Please consider joining Patreon. I think we had someone join. I want to pull this up here. Oh, no, never mind. I posted a video on Patreon about the top 3 players. Oh, boy. I posted that yesterday. So if you want to watch it, I mean, I don't know how much of it's changed, but we're definitely going to have a conversation about that. Not with his thoughts on NIL. Oh, talking about Dabo. Yeah. Again, that's another topic. I guess we are going to have to – that might be a topic of conversation on Monday. Who you going to get? I don't know. Again, I appreciate everybody. Shout out to Patreon supporters. Shout out to Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. And, of course, sign up for Tusk Talk Discord, man. Listen, if the coaching search, if it starts – guess who's going to be covering it and all over it. It's going to be in our Patreon chat. It's going to be in Discord. And you're going to want to be a part of that. So check out Discord. Come be a member. Come be an active member. Good people in there. A lot of fun. So, yeah, until Monday, you guys have a good rest of your weekend. Maybe crack open a few cold beers. Get you a whiskey and Coke. Light up a cigar. Watch other teams be good at football, I guess. I don't know. But I'll see you on Monday. Disappointing as hell. Disappointing as hell.